Hey everyone, Josiah here. Beating Pokemon Fire Red with only an Exeggutor was an interesting one. The first 3 quarters of the game were easy sweeps, and then I hit the last few battles, and things started going downhill. Anyways, today we're going to be finding out if I can beat Pokemon Black with 1 Exploud. What do you guys think? Can I beat Pokemon Black with 1 Exploud? I think it's possible, but with how fragile Exploud is, I'm probably going to have to overlevel a lot. My biggest threats in this run are probably going to be the Fighting type Elite Four member and the 2 final battles against N and Ghetsis. Speaking of fragile, let's get into Exploud's stats. It's overall okay for being a 3rd evolution Pokemon, but its defense, special defense, and speed aren't the best. Now that I think of it, this might actually be a challenge. Alright, let's get right into the run. To start this run off, I named myself Kool-Aid with a C. Speaking of Kool-Aid with a C, we have a sponsor today. Just kidding, I have no sponsors. Nobody watches my videos in the first place. Alright, I'm getting off topic. So, I replaced Tepig with Exploud, and I know that's cheap, but this run would have been hard either way. I know, I didn't explain the rules. That was my mistake, and I'm really not trying to re-record audio clips right now. If you really care that much, the rules will be down in the description. For this first fight against Bianca, she chooses the starter that would normally be weak to Tepig, Snivy. Anyways, I try out my new moves in this battle, so it took longer than usual, but I ultimately win. Now moving on to the first Cheren fight, not to be confused with the pink grass type flower Pokemon. He picks the starter that would usually be strong against Tepig, Oshawott. I have to admit, Oshawott has a really cool evolution line and has a pretty interesting role in the Pokemon Black and White movie. For this first fight, I use Uproar, a 50 base power normal type move that hits during multiple turns. By the way, you're going to be seeing a lot of Uproar this video. Here we have our first fight with N. First of all, what a totally unique name. And second of all, N's character development is amazing and super interesting to watch develop over the game. At this point in the run, N only has a Purloin, and it's a pretty quick fight with Uproar, but like I said earlier, Uproar is going to play a major role in this run. As I'm trying to make my way to the first gym, I run into Bianca again. She only has a Lillipup and a Snivy right now, but holy crap, my Uproar does so much damage to her Pokemon, I didn't even see their health bar go down. It was that fast. I am a couple levels higher than her Pokemon to start with, but I don't think it would have mattered if I wasn't. Right after Bianca runs away crying, her BFF Cheren comes to get revenge. He only has an Oshawott and a Purloin, so I use Uproar like usual, and completely sweep both of his Pokemon. Even when Uproar is used against normal effective types, it still sweeps teams. After this, I make my way towards the first gym. This gym is a bit weird. To get the trio badge, the gym makes you fight a certain gym leader based on your starter. Since the game still thinks I picked Tepig, I have to fight the water trio member, Cress. I do pretty well against him by sweeping Lillipup and 2-shotting Panpour. Probably would have been a 1-shot on Panpour if I was a bit higher level. After defeating the first gym, I head east to the little ruins with Munas scattered all over, and Bianca's angry at the Plasma Grunts for trying to force the Munas to make Dream Mist. Because we're quote-unquote interfering with their plans, the Plasma Grunts want to fight. They really only have Patrats and Purloins, so I sweep them pretty easily with Uproar. I try to make my way to the next city for the normal type gym when I run into Cheren. At this point in the run, he only has his Oshawott and Purloin, and I'm honestly surprised he doesn't have a 3rd Pokemon at this point. Like usual, I sweep his team with Uproar and take his money. After clearing out some more grunts in a random cave, I head to Nacrene City. First of all, the puzzle in the normal gym was super confusing. By the time I solved it, I really didn't have the motivation to fight. So I went ahead and fought anyways, and I was really just spamming A for Uproar and not paying attention to the game, until I realized it took almost 4 turns to KO Herdier with Uproar, and then when I got to Watchog, it 1-shots me with Retaliate. After losing like that, I really wasn't going to try that again without being higher level. The next day, I grind Exploud to level 23, and I know that doesn't seem like much, but you'd be surprised how much difference 3 levels does. Speaking of which, I one-shot Herdier with Uproar and 2-shot Watchhog, but it doesn't go down without a fight, leaving me with 17 HP. I clear out the Team Plasma Grunts in the Pinwheel Forest to try and get the Dragonite Skull back for Lenora. They're pretty easy sweeps, because the majority of them only have one Pokemon, and those include first evolution Pokemon, such as Purloin and Patrat, that can easily be stomped on with a single Uproar. Anyways, the thing is, a lot of people hate on Team Plasma for looking goofy and having dumb motivations, but honestly, their development and goals over the game is really understandable and interesting to watch. I'm not saying it's okay to go squeeze a Muna for some Dream Mist, but I get where they're coming from. Like I said earlier, Pokemon Black and White is by far one of the most well done Pokemon games scenery wise. The bridge leading to Castelia City is a prime example of this. I love how the camera zooms in and out at certain parts of the bridge to show it in its entirety. A lot of people would probably disagree with me because it's all pixelated and not in 3D, but I think it would look fine either way. After stopping Team Plasma in Castelia City, I run into Bianca, and she wants to fight again. She's definitely upgraded her team since the last time we fought her. She has a Herdier, Muna, Servine, and Panpour, which is supposedly meant to counter Tepig, but since I replaced Tepig with Exploud, it serves no purpose. As usual with these rival fights, I'm higher level than their Pokemon, so it's a pretty easy fight. Berg's gym was pretty easy to navigate compared to Lenora's gym. Once I get to Berg himself, it's time to fight. I wasn't very confident because I had no idea what his team was and what their movesets would be like. I heard his Whirlipede is sometimes pretty dangerous, but I KO it pretty quickly. Next is Dwebble, and Rock is pretty effective against normal, so this could have been a problem, but it wasn't, and I KO him almost instantly. Finally is his Leavanny, but I killed in 2 Uproars, and holy crap, its Leaf Blade did a lot of damage, leaving me with only 18 HP. I start heading towards Nimbasa City for the Electric Gym when I ran into Cheren. Like Bianca, Cheren has also had a pretty noticeable team upgrade. He has a Pidove, Dewott, Pansear, and Liepard. This fight would normally be easy, but Cheren's Liepard knows Pursuit, which has priority over Uproar. I sweep his team pretty easily, and luckily Pursuit doesn't do too much damage to me, nor flinch me. Dude, I'm really just trying to get to the Electric Gym, but of course N wants to appear out of nowhere and battle me. His team's a lot different in this battle from the last one. He is a Sandile, Scraggy, Darumaka, and Sigilyph. Don't care if I'm pronouncing those right, just go with it. None of these Pokemon really have any super effective moves against me, so it's a pretty easy one-shot Uproar sweep. By the way, we're not going to see the same team in the next battle against N. I finally make it to Elisa after a day of running into unneeded trainers. This fight isn't any better than any of the gym battles earlier. Her Emolgas do pick damage with Volt Switch, so then it makes her Pokemon retreat back, which that means I can't get any damage on them unless I go first, and Emolgas are way faster than Exploud. One of Emolga's Volt Switches crits me, taking me down to really low health, and then I'm ultimately killed by her Zebrastrika and other Emolga. I go back to Elisa expecting different results without grinding. Of course, they literally do the exact same strategy this battle. Her Emolga's Volt Switch to back down my health and to make sure they're not taking any unnecessary damage. This battle was honestly really annoying to do, and it's probably really annoying to watch. Anyways, I'm not going to do anything different, not grind at all, and expect different results next battle. Hey, guess what? Nothing from the last battle changed on my side. I'm not higher level, nor do I have any new moves, but can you guess what happens? I KO one of her Emolgas, and then 2-shot the Zebrastrika. Then, Emolga hits me with a Volt Switch, taking me from 43 HP to a measly 22 HP. I KO the final Emolga with Uproar, and I know you probably weren't expecting that, huh? I try to make my way towards Driftvale City when once again I run into Cheren. His team isn't too different from the last battle with him other than his Pidove evolving into a Tranquil. His team goes down pretty easily though with Uproar. First of all, I know, I'm higher level than his Pokemon. Second of all, yes, I know, this run is probably going to be boring because I'm only using Uproar, but this is really the only move I can rely on right now. Don't worry though, there will be a lot more new moves when I hit the Elite Four. After helping take down Team Plasma in that one freezer cargo type place, I attempt the ground gym. I didn't expect this gym to be that hard until Excadrill came out. I had already been pecked at a bit by Clay's previous Pokemon, and then Excadrill uses Hone Claws, boosts his stats, and destroys me with Slash. I was not expecting that. I probably could beat this gym without grinding, but honestly, it would probably be easier just to grind. So enjoy this montage of me murdering every Pokemon in sight for 2 whole levels. I know that quote-unquote montage wasn't very montagey, but do you really want to watch 3 minutes of grinding? Didn't think so. Anyways, I attempt the ground gym again, and this attempt goes really well. His first 2 Pokemon are pretty easy KOs, and by the time I get to Excadrill, I have pretty high health. Excadrill tries to slash me, but since I was at such high health, it didn't KO me, and I win the battle. To get to Mistralton City, I have to go through this electrically charged cave puzzle. But right before I go in, I run into Bianca, and she wants to fight again. Of course, how can I decline absolutely destroying Bianca's team with a single Pokemon? The only difference in her team since the last time we fought was that her Muna is now evolved into a Musharna. This fight was pretty easy despite her newly evolved Musharna, but it did take a few hits to KO, which was kinda annoying, but all in all, it was an easy battle before it even started. I finally make it through the cave puzzle after about an hour of trying. The thing is, this puzzle isn't even that hard. As I'm about to leave the cave, N shows up and wants to battle again. Like I said in our previous fight against him, his team changes every time we fight him. This time, he has a Boldore, Joltik, Ferroseed, and Klink. I have Bulldoze on my moveset, so the Joltik was pretty easy to take down. The rest of his Pokemon were at most 2 shots with Bulldoze or Uproar, so nothing too significant about this fight. I explore Celestial Tower so I can fight the flying type gym leader Skyla. Her gym had a lot of required trainers until you could actually get to her. I finally got to her, and since all of her Pokemon are flying types, Bulldoze won't help me very much. She has a Swoobat, Unpheasant, and Swanna, so I really don't have any ideas how this is gonna go. I just spam Uproar through this battle, and it works really well. Her Swanna did tank a couple Uproars, but ultimately cracked under the pressure. The only major battle between the Flying type gym and the Ice type gym is against Cheren. This time he has an Unpheasant, Dewott, Simisear, and Liepard. In this battle I really just spammed Uproar and it worked relatively well. Dewott did tank a couple of hits and dealt some pretty decent damage with Revenge. In the end, because I'm so much higher leveled than his Pokemon, I was gonna win almost no matter what. The Ice-type gym puzzle was somewhat complicated, but I figured it out eventually. I challenged Bryson, and since I didn't really have any experience against Ice types, I had no idea what to do. Bryson only has a Vanillish, Cryogonal, and Beartic. I spammed Stomp throughout this battle, and it did pretty well. The reason I didn't use Uproar though was because I wasn't very confident in moving from Stomp to Uproar mid-fight just to test it out. The Vanillish took several stomps to the teeth, whereas the other two went down in 1 to 2 shots. I go to the Relic Castle for some important TMs and story plot. After running through the Relic Castle for about half an hour, I meet up with Alder, Cheren, and Ghetsis. Ghetsis rambles on about how I don't deserve the Light Stone and how N will rule all, and honestly, I don't really care, I just came here for the plot advancement. I start making my way back from Relic Castle to start my walk towards Opelucid City to fight Drayden. Of course, one of my 3 rivals needs to have their required battle with me though. Can you guess who it is? Probably because she's literally on your screen. Anyways, Bianca now has a Stoutland, Superior, Simpor, and Musharna. This fight wasn't hard, but it wasn't easy. I get down to low health in this battle, but I wanted to 2-shot each of her Pokemon, so again, there isn't anything too significant about this fight. Like I said earlier in the run, Pokemon Black and White does a great job of designing the scenery in a pixelated way. It's not too gritty, but it's also not overly realistic. This bridge here is another prime example of this. I finally made it into Opelucid City and it's time to challenge Drayden. Drayden's Pokemon include Fraxure, Druddigon, and Haxorus, so if you didn't realize it yet, Drayden's a Dragon-type gym leader. I'm about 12 levels higher than his Pokemon, but you can never be too careful around Dragon types. I'm honestly surprised Uproar did damage to his Pokemon, period. Especially 2-shot level damage. His Pokemon only really tried to set up stat-raising moves, and they didn't really have time to counter. On my way towards the Pokemon League, I have my final fight with Cheren. Nothing's too different about his team this time around, except his D-Wad evolved. Despite D-Wad evolving, I do really well against his team. It's not like the previous battles where I one-shot sweep all of his Pokemon immediately, but it was close. Cheren's very motivated throughout this game to become the best trainer, and I can really admire that. These are Exploud stats right before entering the Elite Four battles. His defense and special defense are still lacking, so this may be a problem. For these Elite Four fights, I'm going to save between each battle and show you the best attempt of each member, so you don't have to watch 8 attempts on one member. I will also say how many attempts it took for each trainer. The same goes for the final 2 fights against N and Ghetsis, so just enjoy this little montage. If you guys made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. If you really want to, if you like this content, please drop a subscribe down below and possibly a like. Both of those cost nothing. You can change your mind anytime you want, just in case you randomly start hating me. These videos are so fun to make, and I love it when they pay off. They take like a week to make, so if you could just drop a quick like, maybe subscribe, or a nice comment, everything's appreciated. I'll see you in the next video.